Welcome back to By the Common Man TV. I'm your host, Ardell Jackson, and this is Tuesday's Talks, a place where we slow down, where we reflect, where we have meaningful conversation about the things that shape our lives. Today's conversation is about something I think many of us are searching for, and that's peace. Not the kind of peace that comes when, everything in our lives and our life is going well or going okay. I'm talking about that kind of peace that remains when life gets difficult. That kind of peace that allows us to keep moving forward, even when the future seems a little uncertain for us, right? So let's talk about it. You know, confidence isn't the absence of fear at all. I think we're misunderstood confidence for a long time. I know I have. How about you guys? Many people believe confidence means you've never been afraid to do anything or you've never been afraid of anything. You're the tough guy, tough girl. That confident people don't struggle with doubt. We all do. That confident people never question themselves. But that's not what I've learned. That's not what I've learned. And not just going through life, man. Not just going through life. Real confidence isn't the absence of fear. By no means. It's the decisions to move forward despite the fear that we feel. Every one of us has fears, and that's human. The fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of starting over in life when we've had to. I know I had to. I'm sure many of you had to. The fear of letting people down that depend on us. But what I want everybody to understand is those fears don't make us weak. By no means. They don't make us a weak man or a weak woman. They just make us human, right? All humans has fears. The question is, will the fears become your prison? Will they entrap you into not exploring your purpose or who you are and what you were created to become? Or will your purpose become your path? See, purpose changes everything. I truly believe it does. I've learned something over the years, right? When you understand your purpose, your confidence begins to grow through the roof. Not because life suddenly becomes easy for you, not because every obstacle in your life disappears. It's not that. But because you finally know why you're moving forward in life and who you are. Purpose gives us direction. And I've talked about that in some of my other previous episodes. It truly does give us direction, right? And direction creates what? It creates courage. See, when you know where you're going, you stop wandering, right? So when we know where we're going, you stop wandering. When you have direction, you can find that place easier as you navigate. You're driving in a car, you navigate, you can find that place easier. So purpose gives us that direction to kind of help us navigate and we're not wandering through life. You know, when you know why you're doing something, you stop seeking everyone's approval. You stop worrying about everybody's opinion. You stop worrying about what they think of you. Purpose has a way of quietly, or I could say, purpose has a way of quietening the noise around you to kind of silence everything around you. Because, it's there, all the opinions, all the things, but you know who you are. You know the direction that you're going. So all that you're hearing, you're not really hearing it. Because you know the direction you're trying to go. You know where you're trying to become. And with that, peace comes from knowing who you are. So now that peace, peace starts to enter in, and it becomes from knowing who you are as a person. You've defined your purpose. You know what you've been created for. You know who you are. Now you start to find that peace. One of the greatest gifts of purpose gives us is peace. Purpose does give us peace when we know it. Purpose gives us peace, and I've experienced that, and I know what it does for me. Not because everything is perfect in my life, but because we're no longer trying to be someone or something we're not. When you know who you are, you stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You stop chasing the trend. You stop chasing, what everyone else is doing. You stop trying to impress people who don't even know your heart or know who you are. Instead, you begin walking in your own lane, taking your own path. Because you know who you are. You know where you're going. You know where you're trying to get to. And that's that. And see, there's peace in that, when you know it, and we all experience that. We know what that peace looks like. See, fear doesn't get the last word when we find that peace. There have been moments in my own life, right, when I questioned myself. I talked about that in the previous episode on Motivational Mondays. Moments when I wonder if I even was qualified for the position or the job. Moments when I wasn't sure what came next in my life. Maybe you guys been there too. I know I have, right? Maybe you're standing in front of a big decision that's bigger than you, that could change your whole life. Maybe you were afraid to take the first step or the next step in your life. Here's what I've learned. Purpose doesn't eliminate the fear. Purpose gives you something bigger than fear. When your why becomes greater than your fear, you move anyway. That's courage. That's what it's giving you. Courage, confidence, peace. See, quiet confidence, one thing I admire most about truly confident people, and I talked about this with my grandfather. I admired him because he was a truly confident man. They don't need to announce it, right? They don't need the attention. They don't need to prove they're the smartest person in the room. They just simply live with quiet confidence. They're solid. They keep showing up. They keep growing. They keep serving. They keep being the person that they are. They don't boast about it. They build. They learn from it. They become more and more confident each and every day. See, that's the kind of confidence I want. That's the kind of confidence you guys should want in your life. And that's the kind of confidence that I try to instill in my players and the people that I talk to over the course of time and mentor, is that confidence, that quiet confidence, believing in yourself, not needing applause, not needing folks to validate you. Validate yourself. I don't want that loud confidence. I want that steady confidence. That's what we all should be shooting for, that steady confidence. So if you're feeling down, you feel like you're not good enough, and you have it, just start building it. You be confident in yourself, believe in yourself. That kind that's built, man, in the quiet moments when nobody's watching, that's the confidence I want. That's the confidence we all should want. Your life speaks. Your life speaks, whether you realize it or not. People are always watching your life. We know that. You see that on Facebook. People are always watching your life. You have your haters. You have the people that's going to hate on you. You have your supporters. You have the people you have your family members. And sometimes your family members can be your biggest haters, and sometimes they can be your biggest supporters. But people are watching your life, your children, your co-workers, your friends, your neighbors, they notice how you respond when life gets difficult, when shit gets tough. They notice whether you panic or you stay grounded, whether you complain or whether you just persevere over it all and get over the hump and keep pushing forward. You know, whether you lead in fear or you lead with purpose. And that's what I respected about my grandfather. He never led in fear. He always led with purpose. Sometimes the greatest sermons you'll ever preach is the life you live, the example that you set. And for all you guys that have children that have subscribed to the channel, you know what I mean. We always preach about the life we want to, and the example we want to set for our children. You know, your challenge, and it's the challenge I put out there to everybody that's listening, all the subscribers and all those that will subscribe. Your challenge today, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1, what is stealing your peace? Am I allowing fear to make my decisions? And question 3, am I having or am I living according to my purpose or according to someone else's expectations? Take a few moments today, turn off the noise, sit in a quiet place, and reflect. Because sometimes the answers we're searching for are found in silence. Look, guys, as we finish today's conversation, remember this: confidence isn't built by proving yourself to the world. It's built by becoming comfortable with God and with who created you. Purpose gives you direction. Directions give you courage. And courage brings peace. Walk in your purpose. Trust your journey. Keep becoming the person you were created to be. Thank you guys for joining me for another Tuesday Talks. Well, actually, my first Tuesday talk. But I hope you guys will be joining me for another one. This is By the Common Man. This is By the Common Man TV. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I love to hear from you guys in the comments. What brings you peace? When life feels uncertain, let me know. Let me know what brings you peace. I like to hear about it. Leave me a comment below as let's continue the conversation. I'm Ardell Jackson, and this is By the Common Man and By the Common Man TV. Remember, ordinary people live extraordinary lives. Until next time, keep your purpose clear, your heart at peace, and your confidence rooted in who you are, not in what the world says you should be. By the Common Man, I'm out. Peace.